Hello everyone, it's Dale here. In this new video series I want to break down my recent trades. The goal of this series is to show you how I use my volume profile trading setups every day in real market conditions, so you can learn from my wins as well as from my mistakes. If you find it helpful, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, and let's now dive in. So, what do you see before you? This is a screenshot from my yesterday's session. It's a screenshot from the live trading room we had yesterday in the Funded Trader Academy. And yesterday, this new setup was forming on the Australian dollar, US dollar. So this is the Australian dollar, US dollar, and it is the 30-minute time frame. And the new setup was forming in here. So there was a resistance, this one, that's the new setup. It was forming at 0.6364. And the reason behind this setup, well, actually there were a couple of reasons. So let me start with the main reason. And the main reason was a volume profile setup. So if you look here, what I highlighted here, that's the heavy volume zone, the resistance level was based on. And as you can see, there was this little rotation with those heavy volumes. And from there, sharp sell-off started. And this sharp sell-off was telling me that sellers were building up their short positions here in this little rotation. And then they manipulated the price to shoot downwards, right? So this is my favorite volume profile setup that I like to use every day. Now, additionally to that setup, there was also another setup, a price action setup, and it was in here. The price reacted to this zone in the past, meaning that it was a support, right? Because the price made this reaction, not exactly to my level, but to this general area. When the price blew past that support, the support became a resistance. And that's a price action setup that lies at the same area as that volume profile setup. Also, let me delete drawing here. There was a fair value gap. It's highlighted in red in here, this block. That's fair value gap. That's from Smart Money Concepts. And I like to combine that with my volume profile setups. In this case, the fair value gap was beginning in here. Let me use a different color. In here. And I personally like to place my levels at the beginning of the fair value gap, which would mean placing the level here. But in this case, I placed the level a little bit lower. I placed the level in here. And the reason is that at this place, there was the beginning of that heavy volume zone, right? So if I place the level a little bit higher based on the fair value gap, if I placed it in here, it would allow me only very tight stop loss, because the stop loss would be in here and it would be like 4 pips, which is not enough. And also there was the risk that the price would react to the beginning of that resistance zone, which is this heavy volume zone. So that was the risk that the price would react sooner and miss the trade entry in here. So that's why I decided to place that resistance and my limit order here at the beginning of that heavy volume zone and not at the beginning of the fair value gap, right? This allowed me to place a stop loss of around 10 pips, which is, I would say, quite enough for the Australian dollar, US dollar. All right, so that's the prediction from the live trading room yesterday. This is just a screenshot from the live session. And let me now show you the chart, how this played out later, all right? So this is the same chart, again, Australian dollar, US dollar, 30-minute time frame. Let me use the volume profile here so you can see the volumes. This was the heavy volume zone that level was based on, and here was the pullback to that level. This was the short level, this was the stop loss, right, this was the entry, and as you can see, there was a beautiful reaction to it. Now, my take profit was in here. I quit it because there was that first deviation of weekly VWAP, that's the gray line, and it allowed me to trade with risk-reward ratio 1. That's what I prefer in my trading, to trade with risk-reward ratio 1 or slightly bigger, right? So this was a risk-reward ratio 1 trade with take profit in here. If I wanted to be more aggressive, another take profit would be at this volume cluster formed within this rejection. So another viable take profit would be in here, but I just took the first one, this one, and I was okay with that. So that's how it played out for me. It was I would say a nice reaction to a pretty solid level. As you can see, if we placed the level at the beginning of the fair value gap, this would be a missed opportunity. So I'm really glad that I placed that level at the beginning of that heavy volume zone here. Alright, so that's about that. I hope you guys liked the video. If you would like to join us and trade with us like this every day, then you are welcome to do so. If you go to my website, which is traderdale.com, and click this button, FTA, then it will take you to this page, which is the Funded Trader Academy page. There's a video which you can watch, and in that video I'll explain everything that is included in the Funded Trader Academy. And if you are interested, then you can book a one-on-one call in here where we'll walk you through the service so you can see whether or not this is right for you. Alright, so that's about that. Thanks for watching the video, and I'll be looking forward to seeing you next time, and until then, happy trading!